Oh boy. Whenever I see a bad weather blue blaze option, I think, oh gosh, what do they got in store for me on the white blaze? But it is sprinkling, but I don't think it is bad weather enough. I am going to attempt white blaze. Let's see what they got. Alrighty then, just finished that. What was it? It was a very, and these are slippery. This proves my point. Glad I took the white blaze, but I can see why in, say, winter conditions, slush, snow, maybe even a wetter conditions. Oh look, I was going to tell you this is happening today. I will be entering Vermont, 1.3 miles. Yay. Anyway, I've only gone a mile. Gah, that steep climb slowed me down for my average pace. Imagine that. Okay, what was it? Pile of rocks, just thrown haphazardly. I often described Pennsylvania as, like, I may have said this to you, so like someone took a gigantic wheelbarrow and just dumped a bunch of sharp rocks in your way. And that was this, only very steep. So it wasn't long. I think I didn't look at my watch right when I started, but I looked shortly after I started. And if I were to guess, it took me 13 or 14 minutes, and I was not going fast. So glad I took the white blaze, but I can understand the need for a bad weather alternative route. Okay. And here's the other thing I've noticed so far. Been on trail 40 minutes, 41. And man, we already have a ton of rocks. So we had the big steep one, right? And now it's just rocks in my way. That's fine. It stinks when they're wet. The sprinkling did stop, but lasted just long enough to make all the rocks slippery. It just slows me down. That's all. But I don't have big plans for today. In the theme of being good to myself and wanting to continue loving this, because right now I love this. Right now I still love this. I have loved this from the second I step foot on the AT. I do not want to stop loving this. And what I have noticed is I'm getting tired. I think we've talked about this. And I have offered myself grace now that I have gotten into the harder, more challenging mountains, that I don't have to do 20 plus miles a day. I don't even have to do 18 if I don't want to. Some days are going to be 10 and 12 perhaps, maybe less. I don't know. They're going to be whatever I can do and still love this. I know that means I'll finish later, which is kind of a bummer, but I think I'm well ahead of my initial goal, which was 6 months. So maybe mid-September finish, I guess, maybe. All right, so today is a 12.3 mile hike with just about 3,000 feet of gain. Now, you remember when I did, like a few days ago, the 15 and a half with 3,000 feet of gain, and it kicked my butt? Yeah, now we have fewer miles in the same gain. So I'm thinking I'm in for some pain today, but that's okay. Yes, it is okay, because it is what it is, and I will take whatever I face, and I shall overcome. So that day, when it was I think it was day 101, I remember, it was so humid, and the sun was beating down. How the sun can be there and the humidity, I do not know. I thought the sun was supposed to burn off humidity. Isn't that your job? But it did not do it. Today is already humid. I think I saturated my bandana already in the 41 minutes with my sweat. It is bad. I think that is going to be the thing that gives me the pain today. So we'll see. It's also supposed to pour. According to Weather Channel, I was only able to see from 12 to 4. It's supposed to rain with thunderstorms. Not constant thunderstorms, just rain with periodically thunderstorm. And when I tried to look further into the day, I did not have the cell service enough for the page change, so I was unable to see it. I do not know what I'm looking at. So all things considered, I mean, the next shelter Again, I've complained that they don't really space these out very, very kindly. Like if they consulted me, I might do it different. Um, but the next shelter is 18 point something and 4,600 feet again. And I said, yeah, no. And the last, like right at the end is 1,000 feet again. So it's like, okay, do I do it today or do I do that gain tomorrow? And I just decided it's okay. Like I actually contemplated it this morning, even after having this entire conversation with myself about being good to myself and letting myself off the hook and say, it's okay. It's so hard for me. You can see the struggle. It is true. The struggle is real. When you're type A, push, 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 chief, success, success, you're just like, I must do the longer miles and achieve more in my day. No, 12.3 is fine. Do you see? This goes on in my head all day long. You're convinced. I know you're convinced of the first sentence. It's me who has to be convinced. Anyway, okay. So what is this? Class of 98 trail. Well, this is curious. Look. So it must be an AT class. So the folks who thru hiked in 1998 created a trail, a blue blaze. Isn't that nice? Well, I'll be darned, but I'm not taking it, and I don't know where it goes. But that's very cool. All right. So yes, I passed 1,600, as you know. I will be going into Vermont very shortly, and stopping at the Cogden shelter or something. And I believe it was, yes, it's mile 1613.7. I think that's it. 1613.7. I'm pretty sure that's it. All right. So until more exciting things happen, I shall bid you adieu. Oh, did I? You know what? What the heck? Let's talk about... Nah. Well, here it is, folks. A new state. Welcome to Vermont. The Long Trail, a footpath in the wilderness. The Long Trail, maintained by the Green Mountain Club, follows the Green Mountain Range for 273 miles north to Canada. White painted blazes mark the trail. Blue blazes mark side trails. The AT follows the Long Trail for 105 miles. Info and guidebooks are available from the Green Mountain Club. I've heard really, really, really great things about the Green Mountain Club. Oh, I'm so excited. Woohoo! Woohoo! Just that much closer to Katahdin. We're getting there. I gotta tell you the funniest story. So the day we're hiking Greylock, well, I had a pee. That's nothing new. I pee like 12 times a day. So I do what I do, right? I look both ways, make sure nobody's coming, see if I can spare someone from being scarred for life, right? And what they might see. And I gotta just say, like, I'm a trail runner. I am quite savvy at peeing in the woods. It's not something I had to learn for the AT, okay? And I don't take my pack off when I am peeing. Like, that's just a big fat waste of time. I loosen, unbuckle the waist belt, that's it. Pull my britches down, squat, do my business, right? And usually, it's quite uneventful. But this time, I'm not actually sure what happened. I think I reached over to unclip my cooler cloth. And I can explain what that is if I haven't before. I go to unclip my cooler cloth, and all of a sudden, I start losing my balance. I got this massive pack on my back. It starts pulling me back. So all at once, I grab for a branch, only it's got to be the weakest branch in the entire forest because it does nothing. And it's like going back with me. I end up falling into like the branches of a tree that must have just started growing this year because it had utterly no support whatsoever. And now I'm like bouncing off these branches of this weak tree, and all of a sudden it hits me. My shorts! Like, this is all happening at once. Like, none of this is happening in any particular order. All at once, I'm like, my shorts! And I am just absolutely convinced that my shorts are now saturated. So I, like, grab my shorts, and this is all full flow, okay? Like, I can't even stop it at this point. So now I'm like, oh my God. So I finish, right? And I literally lose my balance completely and fall on the ground. So I start looking around and there's nobody. Thank you, Jesus, there is nobody. So I finally get myself up. I put myself back together. Miracle upon miracle, my shorts are dry. Absolutely no explaining that one. So I get myself together and I start hiking the trail again. Nobody's the wiser, my little secret, right? Except I decide, it's a beautiful day. Greylock's not as bad as I thought. I'm going to put in a little music. So I put on my headphones, I'm listening to Lauren Daigle, I'm bebopping down the trail, and I bump into Jasper. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? Because one of us is not going in the right direction, and I am absolutely convinced it ain't me. And Jasper goes, why are you going southbound? And I'm like, I ain't going southbound. Why are you going southbound? He goes, I'm not going southbound. And I'm like, well, I'm going to check the map. So I look at my phone. Yeah, I'm going southbound. So Jasper's now trying to say, how did you turn yourself around? And I'm like, well, I had a little bit of an incident in the woods, and maybe I banged my head on a tree, and when I got up, I had no sense of direction left. And I'm telling him how I fell over, and I'm peeing all over the place, and he is just shaking his head like, okay then. I still can't believe it happened. But how did I get up and go southbound? That is the biggest mystery of all. But anyway, all I can say is I'm just thankful that my britches did not get soaked, because that is a miracle. Anyway. Hey, there's never a dull moment in the woods. I'm telling you the truth. There is never a dull moment. Hello. So, I was going to spend the afternoon catching up on videos. And I'm still going to do that. But I just had to spend like a half an hour patching holes in my tent. I love my tent. I still love my tent. You know what I love about my tent? That it's my tent. That it's my little space, my little world that I get to crawl into and be all by myself. And I love that. And it's comfy and it's cozy and I love it. But I have come to discover that ultralight gear, it is made with ultralight materials, and ultralight materials don't hold up very well. And this tent will probably just last the thru hiker season and then become something for my grandchildren to play with. I don't know, maybe it'll last a little longer than that, but I just discovered that at the foot of my tent was a bunch of holes. I don't know, there had to be like 20, I don't know. And I just put a bunch of little tenacious tape on it because I don't want bugs in my little space. This is my little private space and I love it. It looks like I dragged my tent on the ground with heavy things in it, and I promise you I didn't. But again, I think that's the nature of these gears. Oh my gosh, can you just like see these bugs? I don't know. Look at these bugs. They're everywhere. They want in. They want in. They ain't coming in. And I put tape on those holes to prove it. Tenacious tape. Best stuff ever. Anyway, not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about day 104. It is day 105, but I'm playing catch up. Day 104. You know that we summited Greylock, but I didn't really talk about it. So I had done that before. Definitely took a different route up. The day I had done it before, it was horrifically warm out. Hot. And it was miserable. It was a very long, all-day, arduous hike. I gotta tell you what. All the hype from other hikers saying, oh, Greylock, oh. It was not that bad. And everybody thought so. May have had something to do with the weather. The weather was not oppressive. It was oppressive again today. Not as bad. It was. Yeah, it was. But it wasn't yesterday. And it did get very warm later in the day. But while we were hiking Greylock, it was nice. And then, so I just wanted to let you know that it's not as terrifying as people make it out to be. And then we get to the top and you saw all that wonderful trail magic. Well, it wasn't just Lost Boy. Cowboy and Squirrels were also the providers of that trail mix. And Cowboy had made these like rolled pizza. He had pizza crust that he laid out, and some had pepperoni in it, and some was vegetarian, vegetables in it, and I had some of both, and it was unbelievable. Never had that on Trail Magic before. Squirrels had made a homemade pasta salad with a whole bunch of vegetables. It was amazing. There was hot dogs, there was Gatorade, sodas, beer. their cowboy's mom made these peanut butter cookies with oatmeal peanut butter cookies, and they were drop dead to die for. I think I ate like 8 of them. I'm not even lying, but who cares? Who cares if I eat 8 cookies? I probably worked them off before I even got to my campsite last night. But anyway, they were amazing. But then you're not even going to believe what happened. So on the top of Greylock, there's a lodge. I don't even know it. I've never even been in it. I guess it's a restaurant. You can stay overnight there. I didn't even know this, right? Well, apparently this trail magic was deemed competition, and the DCR, somebody complained, and the DCR made them move. I mean, how cool to get to the top of Greylock, which is something you've been maybe nervous about all day. You get there, and there's trail magic. How cool is that? No, they had to move. I don't know where they ended up moving to. I was going to ask Jasper because he talked to them. He was looking at a map. But they made them move. I thought that was awful. I mean, they had everything. I even asked if there was any water, and Cowboy brought out this massive, it was still in his car. He comes over with this massive jug, massive, maybe it was a 10-gallon jug of water. He's like, yep, I got water. Anyway, they were amazing. And so I doubt you're ever going to see my video, but if you do, I just want you to know you made my day. You made my summit complete, and I'm sorry the DCR made you move. Yeah, and the rest of the day was fine. I mean, yeah, you had to be careful on the hike down, but then where did we stay? Oh, was that last night? Yeah, it was. So we stayed in North Adams at a campsite, because I remember I had 2 plans. Like if I would stay at a shelter that was at 12 miles if Greylock kicked my butt, and I was going to stay at a campsite 16 miles if it didn't kick my butt. So it was like Sherman something. Yeah. Anyway, so Greylock didn't kick my butt, and the campsite, didn't love it. In fact, I don't even think I took any video of it. It was the kind of thing where there was just woods. Oh, here's the campsite with a sign, right? And I get it. We're out in the woods. We're supposed to be like, mountain people, whatever. But nothing was cleared. Like, I like what I had yesterday, large grass, that's what I like, open field. I could see the sky. This was just woods. And the only thing that made it a campsite was that there was a privy and a bear box, which I'm extremely grateful for. But otherwise, it was just, find a flat spot and pitch your tent and hope you don't have sticks and roots sticking up between. Anyway, it was fine. You know what? It was fine. And so left there with the intention of doing, I think I may have even talked about it, only doing the 12.3 miles today, because the alternative was 4,600. I kept to it. I got here like 2. I had to haul water. It turns out the water was here, but there was talk about the water source maybe being dry. So we hauled water half a mile. It was no big deal. And yeah, got here maybe 2:30, pitched my tent, and discovered my holes in my tent. But the shelter is very nice. It's very old, and there was supposed to be rain today. The rain never came, but it's still potential. They're saying maybe 8 o'clock tonight. But it all, what? I considered going on to the next shelter. I really, really did, because I got here so early. I thought even if it's hard, I could be there before 6. But then when I kind of factored in then if I do that and I have, obviously I'll pick a further shelter the next day than what I had originally planned on, what would the elevation look like for tomorrow? And it was 3,700. So today was 3,000. Tomorrow will be 4,000 with the way I have it set up. It would have been 4,600 today and 3,700 tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I don't see anything in that for me. So I decided, nope, I'm going to call it early and do videos. But I patched holes. But anyway, so yeah, that's my day. And the mosquitoes and the deer flies are out of control. Yeah, not happy with them. But yeah, otherwise, it really was quite uneventful. But what wasn't uneventful, okay, it wasn't uneventful. Yesterday, hit 1,600, okay? Hit 1,600. And today, we crossed into Vermont. Not uneventful at all. So, not sure how many miles are left now. I think I'm only, what am I? I think I'm 6:13. So, I don't even know so maybe 10 miles into Vermont. Anyway, there it is. That was my day. that concludes the recap for day 104 and day 105. See you tomorrow.